Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's StepsBasic, and welcome back to the Comfy Cozy Community Show. So, welcome back, like I said. So I wanted to talk today about an interesting little idea. See, you remember a couple weeks back, few weeks back, I made a video talking about the men talking about their emotions, sort of thing, right? And now, of course, the point of the video was not that men should not talk about their emotions, which is, I'm putting a heavy stress on this and reminding people again. The point of it was that people say this, especially people who say this, tend to forget to actually make space for men to talk about their emotions, if you understand what I mean. But that's not actually the point of this video. I just wanted to address a certain topic that I brought up in that video, and in that I was addressing Jacksepticeye and his ability to ignore or not receive, as it were, any sort of negative feedback to somewhat unstable ideas. You know what I mean? Specifically, I was talking about him talking about how men should be more open and more expressive about their emotions. But he was not going to hear. He literally put that out there on Twitter, and then that was it. As far as I saw, he didn't reply to a single comment, especially any of the ones that were like, hey, maybe you ought to rethink this, sort of thing. And that brought me to the idea of the cost of fame. Now, of course, bear in mind, yes, I am well aware of the fact that I'm not famous. I am speaking from a position of ignorance, and one that is basically informed by just on the outside looking in, which I'm kind of glad about. Now, you may say to yourself, "But StepsBasic, you're here on the internet making videos to entertain people hoping to get famous." Well, kinda. Shut up, phone. See, there are certain aspects to fame that I want. Specifically, I want to have the platform and the audience to entertain. You know, I want people to read my books, to watch my videos, and be entertained. Unfortunate part about that is it does come with a trade-off. And one of the biggest, in my opinion, would be the privacy. Now, of course, this is something that everyone is aware of, even me addressing Jack is a perfect example of how, if you're in the public eye, everything you say, everything you do is going to be under scrutiny, and people are going to be looking at these things. And yeah, I think that in and of itself is a pretty bad thing. Because, man, I'm not even talking about, saying the wrong thing, slipping up and such, or being, openly hateful to any specific group of people, right? I'm not talking about that sort of thing. Like Jack's comment, I definitely mostly overreacted to, because he wasn't actually doing the thing that I said that he was, because I kind of misinterpreted it, as it were. He was saying that he was glad that more people feel more comfortable opening up and stuff, and then he started bashing the toxic masculinity and alpha Chad bros and whatnot. And it's like, okay, cool, I understand that. And still, as such, I looked at that and I interpreted it in the way of he was encouraging men to open up, which might be subtext. It's definitely something I would infer from it. But at the same time, he was talking about being happy about something. And I'm glad, if more men are finding the ability and the space to open up, then I am super happy about that. Because I believe everybody should be able to safely express their emotions and talk about their issues. And I, for one, will stress that I know for a fact that I need to get that. I need to get help, as it were. To be fair, I am getting help, so shush. But anyway, but he said that, and I analyzed it, and other people definitely replied in his comments on that tweet about it. And it's like, he just said this one thing about how he was happy that men can be more expressive, as it were. And it's a good thing to be happy about, as it were. But at the same time, he had thousands upon thousands of replies and stuff, and it's like people looking at it, and he has the ability to basically just ignore all the negativity, which is the point of the comment I made, because in that, the counterpoints, as it were, putting it nicely, to overall encompass not only just negativity but people who are also presenting the opposite angle of it, myself included in that group, were in the minority. Everybody else was like, yeah, blah, 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 we love you. And therein lies another one. Like, the scrutiny and the lack of privacy is one thing, but the adoration is weird. This may come this may come completely out of nowhere, but I think the idea that having hundreds of thousands of people, or even just hundreds of people, or literally just tens of people who will do nothing but say positive reinforcing things towards me, like yes king, or you're awesome, or you're amazing, that makes me feel just a certain way about it. And but at the same time, that also kind of limits the like the growth factor. It's kind of weird because we as humans, we tend to focus on negative feedback, negative reinforcement, because it's a whole homeostasis thing, you know, where our bodies don't react until something bad happens, because we want to maintain that homeostasis, right? And so it's like that, and of course going back to survival instincts, blah blah blah, a lot of stuff that, you know, smarter people than I have talked about, how our brains are hardwired to recognize the negative over the positive, and as such we're trained to grow from negativity, as it were, to get stronger, to get better, to get faster, etc. And see nothing but positive feedback means that not only do they become less important, but then you find no area in which to grow. Now, of course, stressing again that when I'm saying negative feedback, I'm not talking about jerks who are just going to yell insults or comment on bad things that have happened in your life in a positive light, i.e., you know, how the trolls were going after his dead dad and everything, which was just ridiculously stupid and horrible. But, you know, so the whole idea of like how you know, it lessens the effect of the positivity, and also removes any room to grow, because yes men are literal definition of just no growth, no change. Yes, you're doing right. Yes, you're doing it exactly how it should go. Yes, you're awesome. Yes, you're amazing. Not, you really shouldn't have said that, because honestly, it's not to the point of being bad, but it's a little tone deaf, which actually was one of the things I said about that whole PlayStation situation with him that one time. And it's like, I wasn't really so much, because I understood the joke and I was fine with it, but the fact that he came back and didn't understand why people were upset about it was the thing that I didn't take too kindly to. But even in the comments in that one, I was talking about how, you know, I'm not here to boost anyone's egos. If I like somebody's content, I'm enjoying the content, but I'm not here to be a yes man to them. But then there's the privacy, obviously, the odd amounts of positive reinforcement, and you give up a lot of your privacy, and then you start giving up what positivity actually means, in a way, because, you know, like I was saying, if you have hundreds of thousands of people just yelling positive comments at you, then what does it all actually mean? Now, admittedly, I don't even know where I would begin to sort of mitigate that, or to sort of like react in that sort of situation. I get anxious when I get a video that gets like, or I get a tweet that gets like 50 likes on it. I start to get a little anxious. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I know I picked the wrong line of work, didn't I? But that's not a bad thing, you know? So in the end, it really just takes what could possibly be what a fulfilling life, as it were, and makes you feel in ways lonely, but at the same time never at peace. And that's what it seems to me. Again, as I said, as an outsider looking into the situation, it always feels like a weird thing to me, you know, and how fame can just really take everything from you while at the same time giving you a lot. It's weird, man. Humanity's a weird thing. Sometimes we're not even sure if we can eat today. But, you know, we move. We do our thing. I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for this video today. I just want to say thank you. And, yeah, announcements. We started Resident Evil 3, finished Resident Evil 2, and I have my 2 demos, which I still haven't edited. And I still want to go ahead and move up to... and I got another game, is what I'm saying. I got another game to play. A puzzle game, Superliminal. I finally got that, so I'm going to play that. And, yeah, that's all my announcements for today. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this episode of The Community Show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you do, poke that like button for me. If you'd like to see more from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And, of course, as always, you're more than welcome to comment down in the comment section down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Oh, and again, if I can, you know all that jazz. And tune in next time for another Community Show. And until then, good night.